everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Chocobo Dash. I'm your host, Nell Celestine. Eliot is once again unavailable this week with just reasons, but I have a wonderful new co-host for the day. Please welcome to the show, Rubicon Vale.
Hey, hey.
Welcome. So, I managed to kidnap you from another podcast for this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your show?
I'm happy to be here, Nell. Our show is called Gather Together. We are a Final Fantasy XIV podcast. It consists of myself, Yelta Sumasu, and Kariri Sumasu. We're all longtime players, legacy players who have just in love with this game since day one. And we wanted to talk about it. Yelta and I have worked together in previous shows, and we just really wanted to put together something solid and share our love for the game to all the listeners. So thank you for having me on, and happy to be here.
Wonderful. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't had a chance to listen to your guys' show yet. That's the case with a lot of stuff going on, because there's a lot of people out there, but, you know, not everybody knows about everybody else's show. I only heard about Gather Together somewhat recently.
Yeah, we're news with boob jokes. That's really the best way to put it. We do news, we do discussion, we put our own spin on things, how we play, because we're players. I mean, we do raid content, we craft, we gather. We have a variety of people within our free company, and we listen to the community, and we try to share as many ideas that we hear out there and give our own take on, you know, what's been going on in the game, what you think, the things Yoshida have to say. So it's really just a hodgepodge of what we feel about playing the game and things that we've heard from the rest of the community. We've done stuff like this for quite a while. Yelta and I were also in Sequence Break radio. Sequence Break. And so we have done that for some time. We started our own show with Kariri, and it's really a format where we just want to be, I don't know, it's just like a really cool format. We just really want to be just low-key. We don't pretend to be any kind of like big-time raiders. We don't pretend to be anything that we're not. We're just here. We love the game, and we just want to share about the game.
No, that's actually a really great platform. Basically, be yourself and do what you love and share that love with others.
I agree.
That's pretty much how I started, and if any of you go back far enough in my YouTube channel, you'll see Good Morning Eorzea and how horrible of an idea that is in retrospective.
I think those of us who have been in the community for a long time have had these little projects that we've done and went, and then did something else, and as we continue to evolve and the game evolves, you know.
Yeah, Chocobo Dash, I am so thankful as a weekly show. Oh my god. Good Morning Eorzea was the dumbest thing I ever did. You try doing a show every day.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really hard. We try to limit, you know, our content to about an hour at a time, just because we don't want to burn out, and we know there'll be more news around the corner, but you just can't put something out every day. And, you know, right now we're in between 3.0 and 3.1, and yeah, we're getting a little bit of news here and there, but there's just not something that you could do every single day.
No, there's not. I mean, you could talk a little bit about each thing at like every day, but when you think about it, it doesn't cover enough to cover that entire time span. So it'd be more along the lines of maybe going over lore or something, but it got to the point where it was burning me out, and I had to step back from it, and that's when I talked to Eliot and we created Chocobo Dash. Now, I seem to remember, I was on Sequence Break once, and that was a role-play episode. I could have swore, were you on that episode?
Maybe. I had been a part of, it was Go Team Derp in the beginning, and I was through probably episode 95 or 92, so I had quite a long standing. I might have been on that one with 5 guest hosts. It's hard to remember. You know how many, what stuff you're doing when, but you know, we covered a ton of topics. They still do. They've got Cerizian and Jeff on there now, who are great co-hosts. So, you know, they're going strong. But, yeah.
Shout out to Cerizian and that amazing mustache.
You can't beat that. That's such a great mustache. Love you, Siri. If I recall, you were at FanFest, correct?
Yes, I was.
Yes, and I recalled that we were supposed to do something, but I don't think we ever got together during FanFest, and I'm a little disappointed by that.
I'm sorry. There was so much going on there. I was running left, right, and center.
About it. There was so much going on. But it was such an amazing experience, and I cannot wait until that comes around again. Fingers crossed for 2016.
Sure. Well, they're already talking about, they're asking the members of the UK community where they want it, so that says to me that there's definitely one coming next year.
I hope.
And my guess would probably be October again, because this way it gives them about a year's worth of planning, which would make sense.
Agreed. What did you think about the venue? What did you think about the Rio?
I didn't like it.
I felt.
I didn't like it. Personally, I would like if whatever spot that they take it to in the U.S. or Canada. Remember, Canadians play this too. North America is not just America, but wherever they take it to, I would like to see them have it with free Wi-Fi within the area, because that would make a big difference on the available communication for all the attendees, because everyone who's traveling from out of town, I don't know about Americans, but Canada, those roaming charges were brutal going down there.
Oh, I can only imagine. That's
like
awful.
A 5-minute call cost me almost $20.
Well, I wasn't very impressed with the amenities at the Rio. So the pool closed early. There was one night that we couldn't get a pizza after 12 o'clock, and I'm like, I thought this was Vegas. Yeah, I don't know.
What? You couldn't get a pizza after... Oh. I will have to say, though, I'm glad I didn't stay at the Rio. I actually have family in Vegas, so I was staying with them.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I ended up getting free flight down, free food, free stay, and everything. So that's why I was able to walk home with so much swag.
So I know I'm going to be hanging out with you at the next FanFest. Sold.
I don't know if I'll cosplay or not this time. I'm looking at it, and I want to go big or go home, so I'm going to see what I can plan. And if it works out, I am thinking of doing Ravana.
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible.
The problem is, 1, getting it down there, and 2, the cost of making it.
Yeah. I have a secret project I'm working on with my girlfriend, Cinnamon Riesling, on a headpiece, but I won't reveal until I have the parts together. I have some friends in the community that are giving me some tips on how to make this headpiece, so we'll see how it goes.
Worst to worst, you can always look into 3D printing.
Oh, that is true.
3D printing is dirt cheap. And yay, Cinnamon is in our chat and says, free Wi-Fi, yays! But yeah, like, FanFest, the only other thing that there's 2 things that bothered me about the FanFest itself and not the venue. 1, I had the VIP ticket, and the first time they showed the Heavensward trailer, everybody that was in line for to get the stuff, we were stuck in behind walls and couldn't see the reveal trailer for Heavensward when it first launched.
Ooh.
So that was really disappointing, because we were all back there, we all wanted to see, and we couldn't see this, like, the opening ceremonies. And it's like, what's the point of this VIP ticket if we're in worse places than everybody else? Like, why we paid this extra money?
Right.
And don't get me wrong, getting the autographs and everything was amazing, but that just kind of stung.
Yeah, that's no good. They have to make some just a better way to line people up and things. It was very much of a cluster, so to speak, during the event, which I think they're getting better as it goes. I think, what was the event in Germany that they had? Was that the Gamescom event?
I think so.
I think that was a little better thing, although I'm going to say that probably in Europe it's probably a smaller venue.
I don't think it was so much a smaller venue. I think it was just smaller amount of people in a larger space.
Which is helpful.
Yeah, because we had a large number of people in a small space. Honestly, they should have had all the all the gaming stuff, like the computer terminals and everything for playing the events, should have been in a separate stage area.
So you just reminded me of another complaint I had at the time, is that when we were doing some of the fights, I recall doing where you spin the wheel and you get to, it chooses what
the challenges?
The challenge, correct. So we had the shirtless Moogle EX. We failed miserably, but during that, we're trying to listen for cues because we're on the headset with the rest of our team and we're trying to listen to each other and speak. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Soken's event was going on while he was talking about the music to the game. So all we could hear was Soken, which is fine. He's an inspiration to me, but it's not helping me win this fight.
True. Did you hear the part where somebody in the crowd shouted out to put the female lyrics for Leviathan on the next soundtrack?
Oh, which was done.
Yeah, that was me.
You got your wish.
I got 2 wishes at FanFest. Oh, it was amazing.
What was the other one?
I talked to Yoshi after the live letter. I pulled him aside for like a minute because I saw him walking across the stage, and he ended up getting Koji Fox over to help translate. Mm-hmm. And basically, I told him about the huge topic that we had on the Lodestone about really wanting, the Reaper music change to fit to the Terrace theme. Because, Iconic Mount needs to have really the iconic music that goes with it, because that's the nostalgia factor.
Agreed.
And so he's like, well, creating that kind of music, and specifically for mounts, does take a bit of time, but give me some time, and I will get Soken to do it. That night, I went home. Well, not home, but I went to my parents' place, busted out the Wi-Fi, grabbed my token, wrote it on the forums. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. And then it comes out, and people are like, this is the greatest change ever. And I just go back through the topic, copy, quote, paste, you're welcome.
I'm sure they want to limit some of the old school throwbacks for the most epic of cases, of course. But this is warranted. You're going to ride in a Magitech. You need to hear Terra's theme.
It was not so much that to me as much as it was the teaser trailer for that mount had Terra's theme.
Oh yes,
that basically sold it. And if that theme wasn't in the final one, which wasn't originally, it just feels like it was kind of a bait and switch to me.
Right. It was the walk through the snowfield, opening of Final Fantasy VI. How could we not have that music?
Exactly. Now, it's not something like I'd be like, oh, I did it all myself. No, I told him about it, and he was honestly shocked that he'd never heard of it, which means to me that somewhere along the lines, maybe someone just didn't shuffle it along or something, but I'm not saying something happened, or it just might have been something that slipped under his notice, right? Because, the man's got so much work he's got to do.
Absolutely.
But I think bringing it up to him...
tells me that you have a third wish that has not come true, so you need to use your third wish for, the good of mankind.
Well, I'm going to have to hold off on that to the next FanFest and think of one. Maybe it'll be like abolish random from the goddamn triple triad. Oh.
I'm afraid if you rub the lamp, Diabolus will come out and kill us all.
Oh, I already beat him once. Alright, so FanFest itself, the other complaint I probably had with it was the merchandise for FanFest in North America and FanFest Europe sucked. To be completely honest, the only original things that they had there that we could get that was not available before was the Gaia shirt, the Meteor Survivor shirt, the Male Moogle, the art book, and the towel. But there was other stuff, like it was like the collector's edition for PS3, PS4, regular editions for all three, time cards, soundtracks.
And I wasn't impressed with a few of those items. I wasn't impressed with the towel. I believe
the towel was garbage.
The Meteor Survivor shirt, I believe, was on a polo, and it was one of those that, when you wear it a couple of times, the neck part will turn up, and you have to iron it back down. It just didn't look like a great quality to me.
Oh, good. That's a good thing I got two of them, then. Well, the other one I'm getting framed.
How is the quality, then?
It's actually very comfortable.
Oh, that's good.
But the other one I'm going to get framed with because, as I said, I had the VIP, so I was able to get the autographs. But I got the old, I got the first anniversary card that they gave out at PAX, and I got them all to autograph that. I'm going to put those two things in a frame.
Very nice.
Maybe I'll wait and then get them to autograph the shirt when I go next time first. But yeah, I found that the merchandise was, at the time I didn't think it was that bad. And then they showed the merchandise that was going to be available at the Japanese one, and I basically flipped my lid. Because there was 4 times, if not more, the amount of stuff.
Well, I'm of the camp that always believes that the Japanese are going to get the better end of the deal in any of these things. They're going to get the most reveals. They're going to get the better stuff. I think it's just something that they play up to the Japanese audience population because it comes from Japan and they just give more to Japan. That's not me being salty about it, but it just seems par for the course.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit when you think about it that way, because at the end of the day, all of us pay the same amount. Whether or not I'm a North American player, or we have a European player, and we have a Japanese player, at the end of the day, we all give Square the same amount of money.
Well, I think we would pay more, honestly. I think we would pay more for... some of the little... Oh, they were prizes in the crane machine that was at the Nico Nico Chokagi thing. I remember us on Gather Together just raving about seeing these and give them to us. We want all these little toys, these little stuffed animals, and no, can't get them.
Maybe that's what they should bring to the next FanFest, is one crane machine.
Oh my gosh.
Just bring one crane machine, put a whole bunch of stuffed toys in there, make it so that way each person only gets one token in their bag that they get, and you get to play until you win. And you get one prize out of it. I
see it now. It'll be just like the archery event, where the line wraps all the way around the room, and everybody's trying to do the archery event. But that is a cool idea. I would love to play one of the crane games. I would love to get in on some of that.
Square, if you're listening, there's an idea for FanFest.
Don't use that as your last wish, though, Mel.
No, but... I could use more Chocobo plushes.
Did you end up getting your Moogle plush while you were there?
Yes, I got technically two.
Because some didn't. Some people could not get one. I got mine.
I technically got 2, because I did have 2 passes. But,
Scandal.
But I had a reason for it. I had somebody else who wanted to go but could not. So I had the 2 passes, mine and theirs, and they paid me for the Moogle. So.
Fair enough.
I feel bad, but they said it was being released here and then would be available on the website afterwards, and it was not my fault that it was not on the website afterwards for a few months. That is not my fault. I know the Goobo plush looks amazing, and I want the Fat Cat plush.
Everybody wants a Fat Cat plush. I still need a Fat Cat in game, for God's sake.
Oh my god, it's so fluffy.
I don't fish. That's my problem. I mine and I botany, but I don't fish, and I really don't know why. Fishing's very relaxing. It's a nice disciple of land, but I just don't get into it. I don't know.
Oh, you want to know how I got 1 to 50? I watched 3 seasons of Transformers on one screen and just hit enter on the other.
I believe it.
It works. And fishing is one of those ones where you really don't have to pay attention to what you're doing.
You can do it by sound. I was watching Cinna do it the other day. She was just hitting the button when the sound went off.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
There's very little skill involved. You just have to avoid getting killed.
And now, I don't know if you know, I take my gathering very seriously. As soon as we get done here, I will probably log in and try to cap my Red Gatherer scripts for the week, which will net me my last Red Gatherer piece. I'll get the body for Botanist, and I'll be done with my Red Gathering script gear for Botany. And I'm super excited about that. I'm
Congratulations.
Hardcore with it. I forget that high quality gear. Guys, work hard. I got blisters on my hands swinging that hatchet, but by God, I'm going to have that full Red Gatherer script gear.
Hey, look, I can totally understand and relate to putting your effort and time into something. I've got a deck of 98 cards to prove it.
Yeah, you are the triple triad master.
Not yet. 2 to go.
Close.
I have a 250,000 MGP and Bismarck. That's it. Just 250,000 MGP and Bismarck. I can't believe how much MGP this is. This is such a big sink.
It really is. I still don't have the Zidane card from the gold packs, and if you have listened to our show, Kariri has spent copious amounts of MGP in gold packs. We had to do an intervention, sit her down. All her friends surrounded her and said, "Please stop buying gold packs. It's not worth your sanity. Please stop." So
it took me.
She still does it though.
278 or so gold packs to get Zidane.
Ugh. I'm hoping for a bit of luck. I got the Warrior of Light like really quickly, but Zidane is elusive.
3 Warriors of Light in the time it took me to get Zidane.
I believe that as well.
Yeah, I've saved all of my platinum character cards just in case they eventually allow us to trade.
Oh wow, good call.
Yeah, it's just I can't. 600 MGP for those is not worth it.
No, it's gross. I think I've gotten like 2 Tituses before. I'm like, really? Throw me something. Throw me a Furion. Throw me.
Oh god, don't talk about Furion to me. Don't talk about Furion to me. I spent weeks and months going after that card. Oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. Getting 3 to 4 platinum packs every 2 weeks, and it took me until 3 or 4 weeks ago that I finally got it. And
wow.
And I've been doing it constantly.
Now, have you ever given tips to your fans about how you do your tournaments?
I have talked a little bit about it, because the way the tournaments are right now, they're completely busted.
Yep.
They're 100% busted. You are not going to get on the board unless you fully straight on cheat. So what I do is myself and a friend is we have level 15 alts. I beat their alt, they beat my alt. That's it. You get enough points that you'll get at least 3 platinum packs guaranteed that way. And you'll probably get about 22 to 25k MGP.
Interesting. Yeah, see, I usually go for the second NPC that's in the gold saucer. I think it's like Gwent of the 3 Spades or something. They're all 3 something, but I usually go for him. He's a little bit harder than the first person. Not the very first NPC that's like the tutorial, but, you know, when you go into that area, he's on the right near the front. I usually take him down, and I usually get most wins. I just did the 35 tournament. What was it? The Spinners Pool. And I think I netted like 32 wins and three ties on him. So that should get me something close. Usually I'll get about 3 platinum packs out of that and somewhere in like 18k MGP, something like that.
Yeah, so it's not unreasonable. The only thing that I find is it gets really disheartening when you see the tournament end and there's people still on the board with only like 2 to 3 wins out of like 50, and they have more points than people who've got like 50 wins.
Oh yeah. This was a major argument for me when this came out, because when the content came out, I fully expected like some kind of NPC bracket kind of thing. I didn't really think that you were going to play other people in brackets. I really saw it as maybe there's like a king NPC and then some other people underneath them, and that it would show like a graphical bracket, and you could go up the chart, and as soon as you lost like 2 matches, you were done, and they gave you whatever prize when you hit that tier of the bracket.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah, something more fun, but something more graphical. And the game, Final Fantasy XIV, to me, seems to fail at some of those graphical interfaces that I think that make the game more charming. For example, like when we were collecting Atma for our relics, there was not really a nice... can you imagine if there was maybe a nice little circle with 12 spots around it, and as each Atma you got, it filled in the thing. So you could actually, at a glance, see what Atma you had, not look into your inventory and have to pull up somewhere deep within your quest log to find out which Atma and what place they're in. It just really wasn't implemented well. And
I'm sorry, you mentioned that, and all I could think of is Omnom's comic strip with Yoshi giving the speech of, "We hear your troubles finding your Atma, so we have decided to make it easier to find your Atma in your inventory."
Yes. Oh.
And then Omnom's like, yeah!
Yes, instead of like a red, a yellow, a blue, and a green, we have a chartreuse and lavender. I mean, what is that, Yoshida? Come on, man.
But yeah. So let's move on from this, and we'll go into the question of the week from last week. So, I asked everybody, but you didn't write it in the comments. I'm going to get you to read off your comment, like what you feel is the best character from Heavensward, character-wise, that is not a side-based character, and explain your reasons why, while I bring up the quote from last week, because we did have at least one comment about it.
Absolutely, but mine is going to sound like a rehash of your last episode, because I fully agree with you, Nell. Ysayle, I think, stole the show throughout Heavensward. You see her as a character leading up to into 2.55, and you see her as this kind of bad guy figure, this shrouded in mystery. You don't really know what to think about her up to that point. But once you get into Heavensward, you learn her background, you learn her motivation, which I think is a huge thing. When you find a character's motivation, you can relate with them on some emotional level, and you start to get an emotional connection with Ysayle. And it's the same way as Estinian. You get some kind of, but it's a difference, like where you may have loved Estinian before if you played Dragoon or something, where you start to get this strange feel for Estinian going into the game. Ysayle takes the other half, so you've almost got a light and dark kind of thing going, but they're both a yin and yang, and they keep going back and forth, which adds to the chemistry between them. And I fully expect to see them more. I know that, 3.0 ended a certain way, but I really think there's more to the story. And don't tell me Final Fantasy characters are dead, because when people disappear, people don't always disappear in a Final Fantasy game. So I believe there is more to the story than what we've seen in 3.0. But Ysayle just blossomed as a character throughout the whole Heavensward saga. And the icing on the cake is when we read the Tales from the Dragon Song War, and you got to hear her conversation with the great dragon that I would butcher his name, Rausfagar, I believe.
Rausfagar.
Yes, much better pronunciation than I could do. That conversation and that background leading up to the events near the end of 3.0, it really put the icing on the cake for me, cherry on top.
I have to agree there. I really loved her character development, and the fact that she went from being just felt like a one-dimensional character at first to being very fleshed out. And as I said in the last episode, if our character roles were reversed and we were in Ysayle's shoes, chances are we would probably do the exact same thing. Agreed.
I can totally agree with that, because she used what she had to further what she believed what was right. And even when she discovered what she believed was not correct, she still had the courage to see the mission through.
Yes, indeed. It was really interesting, and I'm still annoyed at the fact that I can't ship her and Estinian anymore.
Mm-hmm.
One's kind of exploded, and the other one's kind of a dragon now.
You still have that third wish now.
We'll see how that goes. All right, let's take a look at the comments here. Riku Strife says that my favorite character my favorite Heavensward character was Haschenfant, even before he died, and Hilda was my favorite new character. The one thing I liked about Heavensward was that I found solo duties a lot better, particularly the first three, and the one where we fought Ilberd. Ending of 2.55 should have been done similar in between the cutscenes. I can kind of see that, and Hilda is actually a very interesting character that I tend to remember and then forget shortly thereafter.
Yeah, they need to do a lot more with Hilda.
Well, she came into the story very late, too. She was just before we went into the vault, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. You can't give a character a iconic Final Fantasy name and not really flesh her out.
I have a feeling that she's going to become a major player in the coming patches.
Also, the crossbreed thing. Wow, that's another thing that we have not seen in 3.0 before. Or, I'm sorry, in Final Fantasy 14 before.
We've seen it before in 11.
Yeah,
and that character turned out to be a very major player as well. So here's hoping that Hilda does amazing things. Actually, another comment here. Nikki Sevens says, I really liked Hilda. I hope they flesh out her story more. First off, I don't think we've seen any half-breed characters, which is true. We just mentioned that. She seems to have a checkered past, so there's themes of atonement and justice. She's got a bit of a spicy character to her that I find compelling. She's one of the more attractive character models without having to resort to be the one-dimensional personalities with twin assets. Not that I mind looking, but personality trumps eye candy. If you can have both, then you have Bayonetta, which Minfilia isn't.
Yeah. I think you can stay away from stereotypical female JRPG characters and still tell a compelling story. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, Hilda was someone now that I think about it, is a very good character that I'm looking forward to see more of. And once again, we have Hashafont mentioned. Poor guy.
That's another thing that bothers me with what they've done with the story, where you build up a character in a very short period of time to build an emotional connection, and then do something disastrous to them to draw your heartstrings. Like,
well, the thing was, it wasn't a very short amount of time. Hashafont was around in 2.0.
Yes, but I still don't feel like his character was truly developed until the end. You really didn't see a lot about him until close to the end. He's a great character, and I loved his voice acting too. I miss that.
He was actually had a lot of interactions, and it wasn't obviously until Heavensward where we could do more with him that he was able to grow more, but he did have a lot even in the before 3.0 content.
I still felt very Moonbreeda-ish.
No, Moonbreeda is completely different. Moonbreeda appeared one patch and died the next.
And to me, that's why. Why would you do that? Ugh.
It's like, here, we're going to be including Rogadin into the Scions. Nope. We take that back.
You lost your tank, Scions.
That's a good thing I rolled tank then.
Oh, now you're joining the Scions.
Well, we are technically part of the Scions.
I fully expect to see you sometime soon in my game.
Roland Valmont. Here you go. Problem solved. But I also threw this to you over Skype. You are picking a question of the week this week.
Yes, I am. And I did pick one. And I hope this is appropriate, because here shortly we are going to hear more about patch 3.1. We're going to hear Yoshida speak from the live letter that's happening at Tokyo Game Show. Now, I'm hoping this question is pertinent, because I'm hoping as well that we get translations fairly quickly from this. But regardless, my question is, from what we will hear about patch 3.1 from the live letter, or I'll include from any source, what are you most excited about in patch 3.1?
At the moment, since the live letter hasn't aired yet, for myself, I'm looking forward to hearing more about Void Ark. That being said, I'm really, really, really hoping that the live letter shows off some Hildebrand.
Oh, yeah. And I think that the Hildebrand stuff will tie in maybe with some things that were talked about in Floor 18. So I'm really hoping... I know some of our friends in the community have been talking a lot about suplexing trains.
Woo!
So I hope something happens there. I would love to see a train get suplexed. I would just love to see that train roll through at all.
I agree. The train rolling through would be absolutely astounding. And literally, there is only one person in all of Eorzea who could suplex that. And I'm sorry, if any trains are being suplexed, it has to be Godbert.
And it all happens in the Thanalan area, so that all makes sense to me. Godbert's home turf, Train tracks are out there. Come on, let's do it.
Indeed. But let's talk Tokyo Game Show, the live letter. Let's talk a little bit about that before we get ready to wrap up for the night. So, first and foremost, as we were mentioning before, about Square Enix merchandise. Oh boy.
Here we go.
There is 4 wonderful looking bags with all the class symbols on it. White, blue, red, and brown. So, from the looks of it, I'm saying that's every nation except Gridania we've covered there.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Heavensward wall scroll.
I want it.
Looking at it now, that poster looks like the one that they were giving out at E3.
It's beautiful.
Indeed it is. A Heavensward smartphone case. This looks pretty cool. The Carbuncle plushes, which I still need to get.
I have one. We have one apiece. Cinna has one. Which one is mine, Cinna? I think mine's the gold one. I think I'm the Heliodor.
Then we have the Delivery Moogle plush, the Minion mug, which I have, and the Realm Reborn card case, which I really want. So, not too much in the line of new merchandise when you think about it.
No, we've seen some of these before. The card case, I believe, was something we've seen in the past.
Yes, it was at the card case was first premiered at the Japanese Fan Fest, I believe.
Mm-hmm. The mugs we've seen. Now, we've got these new items: the smartphone case, the wall scroll, and the tote bags, which I think are great. I would love to see more stuff. We've talked about this already, but yeah, these are great.
Okay. At the entertainment booth, specifically the Sony one, not the Square one, the Sony booth is Project Morpheus, or PlayStation View, I think it's called. Battling against Titan in first-person view.
Wow.
Oh, could they pick a more intimidating battle?
I can't wait to see myself fall off the edge and look up as I plummet to the ground.
That scares me, because I have so many nightmares from when I had to fight Titan when it was fresh. Oh my goodness.
Yes. I was just saying this the other day because we figured out that we can 4-man Titan. I've ran some 4-man Titan trying to get Nightmare, and I was talking about how I remember how upset, how many tears were shed trying to get Titan down when it was first released. Titan EX is a bastard. No ifs, ands, or buts.
True, and Titan Hard Mode was a bastard when it first came out as well. I mean, you had to have healers do gimpy healing in order to be able to wear tank accessories in order to be able to survive the AoE.
Some crazy stuff.
Also going on, the Ravana Challenge. The Ravana Battle Challenge. They're going to have the I Beat Ravana t-shirts again, and battling Ravana, just like they did at PAX, which is a little bit strange. I would have thought that they would have done Bismarck.
Well, I've had this conversation. We'll probably have it again. Bismarck has the least airtime. That's not really the right way to say it. Bismarck's dead. I don't know how else to say it. They created Bismarck. They released it in the game. You use it as a stepping stone to get to Ravana. Bismarck is like the underdog of the Final Fantasy Primals. It's like nobody cares about Bismarck. It's sad because Bismarck's so beautiful. It's got beautiful music. It's well designed. It's
I'm going to stop you there for a moment. I love the first part of Bismarck's theme, but the second part doesn't strike me.
That's the part I like the most, is the second part, especially with the lady kind of howling a little bit at the end. It's beautiful to me.
I think it would have been better if the two of them had been flipped. And
maybe so.
The lady singing at the beginning, and then after you clear the DPS check, the urgency music builds up, because that's when you're getting closer and closer to the island breaking.
I can see that, because it seems a little anticlimactic to put the music that way. Being said, I think it's a good fight. I'm sad to see it as a stepping stone to Ravana, which is also an amazing fight.
Indeed, and the saddest part about getting the Ravana card to me was the fact that it's like, okay, I'm not going to be queuing this again for a while. The music, no.
Mm.
The second half of Ravada's theme is the hands down my favorite music in Heaven's
It's
Word.
great. So great.
It's hands down the best song in Heaven's Word right now, I think. Other people can disagree with me all they want, but no, they're wrong.
Oh, they will be wrong.
And then there's also the annual Cactar Lottery. This year, Gubu earrings.
I like it.
Or should I say Gubu earring? It's just one earring. Just like the Dodo was one earring, the Cactar was one earring, the Bomb was one earring, and was it a Mandy?
Don't recall. I have to go back and look at that one.
But we've had 4, and if it's anything like last time, we'll probably get 2 sets of earrings, because remember, they said that not all the worlds are going to get them, but then all the worlds got them on the first day, and then they were like, oh crap, what are we going to do for the second day? Better make another earring.
That Cactor earring is still a good earring for low levels.
It is. It's +1 to every stat. And there is somebody dancing on my screen. I look away for a minute and look back, and there's a Chocobo dancer.
Chocobo.
That would be Kaz, I think.
Brilliant.
Oh, Kaz. Kaz. That's okay. People are watching him, it's all good. That Chocobo head. But yes, live letter should be coming up shortly. I'm excited. I'm honestly excited.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think we're in such a lull before 3.1. We are starving for 3.1 information. To answer my own question of the week, airships. The airship content, all my hopes rideth on thee, because I am looking for some seriously cool airship content. We've been working our fleet. We just worked up, I think we're halfway through to our 3rd airship in our free company. So we're really trying to ramp up our airship production. Really want to see a lot of randomness come out of it. I think that's what's missing from this game, is a lot of random things. I think 2.0 did some good stuff for fundamentals and to put some balance in the game. But I'm ready to see more random content, and I hope that is experienced through the airship exploration.
Silva mentions that there is no live translation during the letter, and I did read that elsewhere we are not going to be getting live updates as well on the side, but there's going to be like a summary posted after.
Okay.
So that's going to be a little bit sad, but I guess that means I will watch, but I won't be able to react as well as I was hoping.
Mm-hmm.
That's
we'll
kind of
sad.
sad.
The slides at least. I'm sure we'll see some visuals and
it's still a little disheartening.
Yeah, maybe people in the community will step up. It's like you said before. We don't quite have the wonderful Reinhardt out there doing the live translations anymore because he works as one of our reps.
Yep, he works for Square now. So
the great Zexos.
As awesome as he is, he can't honestly compromise his job position to translate for us. As much as that would be awesome, I'm actually glad he doesn't, because I'd rather him not risk that job.
Nor would we want him to.
Exactly.
I love that he has fulfilled his dream of working for Square Enix and is working on the game that he loves and got him exposure for. So kudos to him. Indeed.
May your Subligar shine forever.
Always.
But yes, so I think that about wraps it up for topics that we have this week, because there's not that much until the live letter comes out. So next week's episode is going to be a lot more busy and a lot more to talk about. But did you have anything you wanted to bring up today?
Not really. Just happy to be here tonight. Happy to talk to the community about the game. Like always, just love this game. We sometimes get critical. I know in our podcast we just had a rant episode that if you check it out, it's less ranty and more constructive criticism-y because we hit that lull between patches, and we just want to see what more Yoshida and the team can bring to the table. So we're all just chomping at the bit to see what's going to come out of the 3.0 storyline.
Well, one, I don't think you actually told us yet how to find your show.
Well, I can right now.
Well, why don't you do that?
All right. Well, you can find us on SoundCloud or iTunes. Search for Gather Together, just as it sounds. Or you can search for GTFFXIV. You can also follow us on Twitter, and that is at GTFFXIV. You can also email us if you have any comments or questions, and that's gtffxiv@gmail.com.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you want to get in touch and you want to listen to their show, there's the way to do it. And I know I'm going to be tuning in eventually. It might not be today, but it'll definitely be in the very near future, because I love hearing other people's shows and other people's opinions on things. It's part of what makes this community great. Not everyone says the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's got a voice in the community. There's different play styles. There's different levels of play. Not everybody is an endgame raider. Not everybody does crafting. Not everybody does gathering.
Not everyone else plays Triple Triad.
Exactly. Not everybody can be a Triple Triad master like you now, but people can aspire, and you can lead them in their aspirations. You give them hope. And that's what's great about you.
Well, thank you. I'm just glad that I'm able to do it without cheating at the tournaments.
And if you want to find me personally, I'm also on Twitter at RubiconVale, RubiconVale. Always happy to talk to a fan, or if you have any questions, feel free to shout at me.
Well, there you go. So, with that in mind, everybody, please leave any positive or negative comments in the box below. If you're watching on YouTube, you can like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Nell Celestine. My co-host, who is currently unavailable, is at Eliot_Lefebvre. You can also check out his content. He does the Wisdom of Nim every week on the Massively Overpowered website. And if you want to tune into the Twitch channel, that's twitch.tv/NellCelestine. And I'm always doing content on the Twitch channel. My current roommate, who's going to be doing some content as well. So our Twitch channel will be up and running on a very regular, very awesome schedule. So you can always tune in, chat it up. I'm always willing to talk. But with that in mind, everybody, take care. This is Nell Celestine and my co-host for the day.
Adieu.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.